Good day, my friends, and thanks for joining me for the unboxing of this Coway AP-1512HH Air Purifier. You might have seen my prequel video to this, the best air purifier, where I kind of go over what you're looking for in an air purifier, what you should be looking for, the different technologies as far as filtration goes, the microns, the stuff that it can and cannot filter out. And it was just basically a brief introductory video on air purifiers as a whole. Well, after doing my research for about a year or so, I finally decided to pick one up and do myself a favor since I do suffer from allergies and whatnot. And it is pretty dusty in here. We do have 3 animals in the house, 2 cats and 1 dog, which contributes to the whole allergen thing. So I figured might as well stop dilly-dallying and finally pick one up, and which I did. I settled on this Coway, the AP-1512HH machine. Has excellent reviews, and took my time and did some research and found out why the reviews were so high on it. So I'll briefly touch on a little bit of that as I'm unboxing this bad boy here. Couple of little things. I cannot find my other camera, so I can't really hook up my... I had to use my smartphone, obviously, because I can't find my other camera, so I can't hook this thing up to a tripod. So I'm going to have to pause the video a couple times to do some unboxing, some physical unboxing and whatnot. So bear with me as I go through this thing, but hopefully it'll give you some insight into the machine itself and air purifiers as a whole, and maybe you'll be able to make your own decision on which air purifier is right for you. By no means is this the best air purifier on the market, but I found this one was the best for me since it fit all my needs and it was exactly what I was looking for personally. But you may come to a different conclusion, and that's all based on your own research and experience and who you talk to. So that being said, let's dive right in. Okay, so as I'm opening this thing up, hope the lighting's okay here. A couple things to note. Now this Coway air purifier unit is true Hepa. It has a true Hepa filter in it. It is a little bit on the pricier side, but because it does have really good reviews, I figured it was worth the money. With the exchange rate, I am in Canada as well, which turned out to be a lot more than I would have liked to pay for this thing. But I figured, you know, it is a good investment, and you can't really put a price on your health. So that's how I justified it in my own mind. But keep in mind that you probably could get a better deal than this. But hopefully it's going to meet my needs, and then I won't feel too bad about spending the money. I'm going to admit I do have a little bit of buyer's remorse at this point, just because I did spend way more on it than I would have liked, and the really high-end units was getting pretty close to those by the time it was all said and done. So just wanted to throw that in there. But again, it is a true Hepa system. It will filter down to, I believe, 0.3 microns is the typical range for such units. And I actually, on one review I read, it said it filtered down as far as 0.01 microns, if I'm not mistaken. So it does do a good job on allergens, dust, even some fumes, gases, certain gases, smoke, odors. But we'll see. I'm going to put this thing to the test, and if I find that my current observations are drastically different than what, you know, I've observed in, say, a couple months' time, then I'll make a follow-up video to this. But let's get right into it. Okay, so here we see this bad boy in its glory. Looks like on the Spanish side. Probably want to flip that around. I did order it from the US, so that is pretty typical to see an English and Spanish side versus the English and French side that I'm used to seeing. But nonetheless, so here we have some of the things that I was talking about on the cover here. The CADR, which is a standard for measuring how much air that it can clean in a certain amount of space. But here you can see it will filter a 360 square foot room, which is ideal for like a bedroom or a small living room. For me, I'm using this mostly in my office since I spend sometimes 12 to 16, 18 hours plus in this room. So I figured it's important to have this, especially considering that we, like I mentioned, we do have 3 animals in the house, lots of animal dander, lots of allergens, and I am a sufferer of allergies, so
this is hopefully going to improve that. You can see here the continuously monitoring indoor air quality. I believe what it was that I read online was that it can detect particles in the air as small as 0.01 microns. I believe that was my understanding, and then it knows when to kick on and clean. The other thing with this unit is it does have an eco mode here, and supposedly the eco mode is actually worth using. A lot of these air purifiers, what the problem with the eco mode is, once you get it on eco mode, it either drops its efficiency significantly, so it's not even worth using, or it doesn't save enough power that it's even worth turning on. So from what I read, the eco mode will, number one, reduce the noise significantly. It will reduce the power consumption significantly, but it doesn't affect the overall filtration process enough that you don't want to use it, which is really important. I'm not too worried about the energy saving part of it because we're pretty conservative in this house for energy and stuff. But the quietness, maybe that'll come in handy where I can turn that on if I need it to be quiet in here, because I do work from home. So if I'm in a meeting or something, I want it to be a little quieter, I can turn that on. But those are all things that we can experiment with. Now this does have a replaceable Hepa filter, which you can see right here. The true Hepa efficiency of 99.97%. And that's, I believe, rated at micron 0.3 at that efficiency. And again, here captures up to 99.97% of ultrafine particles. That's down to 0.3 microns again. If you don't know what that means, you can look it up. There's a lot of research to do when it comes to air purifiers and whatnot and technology that goes into it. So definitely inform yourself. A couple of other things here I'll just touch on real quick. Automatic speed control, that's kind of to be expected. Intuitive air quality indicator, that's reflected on this thing here. And the eco mode we touched on. 4-stage filtration. I'm sure the manual will go into more details on that. I can go over that real quick once we open it. And the washable pre-filter. So this is basically a larger filter to catch some of those bigger particles that apparently is washable, which is kind of cool. And with this Hepa filter, you're supposed to change it every 6 months to a year. Depending on, I found with some units, you can get away with a little bit longer on that, but obviously you don't want to push it too much where it's not filtering as efficiently anymore. But if I can get a year out of it, and if they're, from my research, they're about $50 to $100 Canadian for those, not too bad. It's about standard. There were some other units where they had little gimmicky things like instead of a year, it's 5-year filter. I'm not sure how well those perform or if it's worthwhile, but you know, even if you have to change it once a year, it's not that bad. I mean, you have to expect a certain level of maintenance and maintenance costs that go along with air purification. That's just a given. But again, here you see the model number. It's the AP-1512HH by Coway, and very good ratings on it. So I'm hoping that I will concur with the reviews that I've seen so far. I think that's pretty much everything. AHAM verified, Energy Star, and a seal of approval for the British Allergy Foundation. Great. All right, let's open her up. Okay, so as I'm opening it up here, I did mention earlier, I touched a little bit on the cost, but didn't really go into details on that. Originally, I wasn't going to cover the costs at all, but I think it's important for people to know what I paid so that they compare and hopefully get a good deal on this unit. So I managed to pick it up on eBay for, I don't remember the exact number, somewhere around the region of $230 US, which worked out, because of the horrible exchange right now, it worked out to be really high on Canadian funds. But if you're in the States or you work with US currency, this will be a better value for you. The shipping wasn't too bad. I did have to pay international shipping and import fees as well, which drove up the cost. And those are all in US dollars, unfortunately. But otherwise, like I said, if you live in the States and you're looking for a good unit, a good value, this is the way to go for sure. At that price range for the reviews and from what I've read, this is probably one of the best units you can pick up. So here we have the manual. We'll take a look at here in a moment. We've got the power cord, I imagine this is here. Yep. Get rid of the foam here if we can. Looks like we have to put down the phone again in a second here to get rid of this other stuff. It's well packaged. There's more foams at the bottom. I don't see any big holes in the cardboard or anything. There was a couple of holes on the outer box, but no big deal. You have to expect a certain level of that when it's coming so far away. I think this was shipped from Florida, so it's come a long way. But yeah, I'm going to take this out of the box and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so here we see the unit out of the box. My lighting is kind of horrible in here, so I turned on the light on my phone. Hopefully there's not too much reflection or glare there. But really well packaged. They made sure to cover all of the plastic here so that there's no scratches or anything like that. Really appreciate that. It's the little things that sometimes make a difference from one company to the other. I've seen stuff like this package where there's no plastic at all. It's just they throw it in the box, they put a little bit of foam, styrofoam, and that's it. So it's nice to see that they really put extra attention here into the cosmetic, protecting the cosmetic side of things. And the unit actually at first glance is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I did check out the dimensions just to get an idea of where I could put it. And but it didn't really sink in until I saw it out of the box here for the first time, how really big and robust it really is. I'm really interested to see what how it's gonna perform, what it's gonna sound like. The cord here was carefully wrapped. It's even got a protector here on the plug side of it. And I hope that light's not too bright for you. There is a message here, if you're going to be able to read that. So just to read this real quick. Do not operate any fan with a damaged cord or plug. Duh. Discard fan or return to an authorized service facility for examination and or repair. Do not run cord under carpeting. Do not cover cord with throw rugs, runners, or similar coverings. Do not route cord under furniture or appliances. Arrange cord away from traffic areas where it will not be tripped over. So lots of emphasis there on not covering up your cord. Not sure why exactly. Probably to prevent it from being damaged. But here you see the manual. And there's also a letter here, which I haven't really read yet. Dear valued customer, thank you for purchasing the Coway Air Purifier. If you are having trouble with the product, please contact us through customer service, our customer service center, or email before returning the product to the place of purchase. I will definitely do that because I don't want to return this thing all the way to Florida. But hopefully I won't have any problems. Customer service number, email, replacement filters. I'm probably not going to go through them for the replacement filters since they are pricey. Probably get them cheaper somewhere else. And then there's a little note here about the company Coway, which is a South Korean company, I believe. I'm not sure. Oh, Korea, yeah. Doesn't say if it's North Korea or South Korea. I probably imagine it's South Korea. So that's that. To be honest with you, I don't care where I get my product from as long as it works and it does what it's supposed to do and it's a good quality product. I couldn't care less if it's from Timbuktu or the US or Canada, whatever. Just give me a unit that works and does what I want it to do and I'll be happy. So, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take this plastic off and we'll get ready to get it going. We'll take a look at the manual and plug this machine in and see what she can do. Okay, so now you can see the sleek finish on this thing in its full glory. I love that black color, the silver on black. It's really an aesthetically pleasing unit, I think. And I don't know if it's just me, guys, but don't you love the smell of a fresh product right out of the factory? I don't know what it is. I've got a bit of a cold here, so I can't smell it as much as I'd like to, but I love that fresh plastic smell. I don't know why. It's kind of like the smell of gasoline. You like it, but you don't know why. Anyway, I digress. This thing is already picking up hair from the dog off the carpet. I probably should have done this in another area, but I'll make sure to clean her up real good before I plug it in. Here you see the top of the unit. Got the power button there, speed control, ionizer, timer, filter reset, and the air quality. All these things, I'm sure the manual will do a good job of explaining how it works, what to look for, how to set it up. Kind of neat that there's a timer on there. And here, this probably tells you, the filter reset tells you when your filter needs to be changed. I'm sure that's tracked automatically. And then the air quality, I'm not sure exactly how that works, but we'll see. I have a feeling that the air in here is going to be horrible, so we'll see if that gets picked up on. And the ionizer, from what I understand, that's important to have on at all times, but who knows? Maybe that's not the case. So that's the unit from the front. As you can see from the side here, if I can get it around, it's, whoops, hit my power button by accident there. As you can see from the side, it is a rather thick unit. It's probably a good foot and a half wide, and I'd say maybe 2 feet. 2 feet by 2 feet from the front, maybe about a foot to a foot and a half wide. I know you're thinking this Canadian's talking in imperial terms. That's just the way I grew up. I couldn't even tell you what this is in centimeters. Probably, I don't know, 30 centimeters wide on the side here. And maybe, I don't know, guys, 45 centimeters from the front, 45 by 45. I don't know. It's probably mentioned here. This doesn't matter. I'm just trying to give you an idea of the dimensions and the size of this unit. If you're thinking, you know, if size and placement is important to you, you're trying to find a compact unit, it's probably not the best thing in the world. I mean, a lot of these machines get way bigger than this, way bulkier than this, so I don't know, it depends how you look at it, I guess. And here you see it from the back. Probably not going to be used a whole lot, but it does have a handle here for easy grip if you want to carry it from one place to another. It's not heavy. This is not heavy at all. It's a very lightweight unit. But then you can see here, if I look at it from the top, you can see all the different filtration in the system involved here. Come on, camera, focus. You can see a little bit of the different stages of the filter and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see how well it performs, and that's really what I'm looking forward to the most, is getting this thing plugged in and seeing what she can do. I'll probably film the actual plugging in, turning on of the device. I'm going to take a few moments here to read some things in the manual. If I come across anything important I feel like I should share with the viewers, I'll do that. And then I'll take some periodic videos, maybe an hour after it's been running, and maybe a couple hours after, maybe tomorrow as well, just to give you an update on how it's been performing and how happy I am with it. So I'm going to take a little break here, read the manual for a while, and I'll come back to you with my thoughts. Okay, so I finished perusing the manual here, and there was a couple of interesting facts that I thought I'd point out here before closing up the video for now. It is a rather thick manual, however, it's mostly just reading in other languages, so the English side is only a few pages long. A couple things here that I think are worth mentioning though. As we discuss here, it will filter down allergens and contaminants down to 0.3 microns, which is pretty standard for a Hepa filter. It reduces airborne bacteria, mold, spores, and particles that carry viruses. That's always a good thing. And the unit's filter system has been optimized to remove indoor pollutants fast and effectively. It's not going to, keep in mind, it's not going to remove all pollutants, right? You need a really industrial unit for that to get down to like gases and pollutants, things like that. If you live in a really densely populated urban area, then you definitely want a higher end unit, in my opinion. But the air quality indicator, which is something I was wondering about, depending on the light that it lights up, if it's blue or dark purple or red, it gives you an indication in real time what type of air pollution you're dealing with and what it deems as being, you know, serious danger to your health or not. So let's see what else. There's a timer feature here. Didn't really want nothing really here. Nothing major to touch on. Nothing really here. Pretty standard stuff, part names and whatnot. Now here's some interesting things that you'll definitely want to know more about. So how the power button works, I think that's pretty standard. The ionizer doesn't really go into a whole lot of detail here. There was a couple of things probably on the next page. Oh, here. So the air purification process. So here's how the filter works. and I'm not sure if I'm getting a good shot here. I should probably turn my light back on, but so it's a 3-stage filter. It's got the pre-filter, which is washable, it's cleanable. It's got the deodorizer filter, which is typically a carbon filter, and then you've got your true HEPA filter to filter out all the small nasty things like bacteria, mold, and well, those are the main things that I'm looking to get rid of, allergens and whatnot. So, and that's typically how a filter like this caliber works, is there'll be a pre-filter, there'll be something to remove odors, and then there's something, a last stage of the filter that will filter down the really small stuff. And it usually goes in that order. It'll go from big to small, and that's pretty standard stuff. So it gives you a little bit more information here on the pre-filter. Let's see if I can get in on this. Probably more information than you need to know, but hey, better to have more information than not enough. So the pre-filter, it removes relatively large dust and mold, human hair, pet hair, and so on. So I guess that's where the allergens mostly will fall into, most of them anyway. The deodorization filter is particularly effective at trapping odor and harmful gas to keep your place fresh and odor-free. And keep in mind here again that it's not going to filter out all the gases and all the pollutants, just, you know, the bigger ones, the bigger particle ones. And then the true HEPA filter, high performance composite true HEPA filter, effectively removes fine dust and cigarette smoke up to 99.97%. Now, we don't smoke in our home, so we don't have to worry about that, but this is the part here that really interests me, is it reduces airborne bacteria, mold, spores, and particles that carry viruses. So one of the main reasons why I finally decided to get this unit is I suspect that in this place, which we're renting, there is a mold issue. I can't see anything visibly, but I just have that feeling. There's something, you know, my instinct is telling me there's something environmental going on in this place. So I'm really curious to see, and especially in my office, I find when I spend a lot of time in this office that I start to get this irritation in my lungs. I don't know if it has something to do with the air quality because of the radon downstairs, or because I made another video that I posted earlier this week on a radon gas detector unit that I picked up, and it did measure pretty high, you know, higher than I would like to see level of radon gas. So I'm wondering now, is this being carried throughout the house through the ventilation system? My instinct tells me yes, but I suspect that there's something else going on here, and it's probably mold. I mean, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there between the walls, between the floors, under your carpet. I mean, it could be anywhere. So, and I mean, this is not a solution to that problem, but since we're moving in a relatively short amount of time, there's no point of tackling that. That'll be up to whoever moves in here or the landlord to take care of. That's a whole other story. So here, I marked this page off just so you can see how the filter is assembled. I'm guessing since my unit's already assembled, I won't need to do any of this stuff. Looks like it's already set up, but I might take it off just to have an idea how it works, how it's put together, assembled, so I know how to put it back together once I need to replace the filter and whatnot. So how to use. Some good information here. I'm not going to go into this a whole lot, but one thing I did want to cover real quick is the eco mode. I did figure out how that works, and basically the eco mode, it has to do with the fan speed. So you've got your standard fan speeds of auto 1, 2, 3, which increases the speed, and then eco, how it works is, so here's the difference between the two. So auto mode automatically optimizes the speed setting 1 through 3 based on the level of indoor air quality detected by dust sensors, right? This mode is recommended for general users, fine. The eco mode, now the difference is when no pollution is detected for 30 minutes, the fan will automatically stop to save energy consumption. So this special feature will help cut down electricity costs. Now again, we're fairly conservative in our home for electricity. That's something that we're very conscious of at all times, making sure to turn the lights off, appliances when they're not in use, unplug stuff that doesn't need to be plugged in, etc., etc. So I'm not too concerned about the electricity part of it or the consumption part of it. Me, it's more to do with noise levels. So it's nice to know that I can turn this eco mode on, and assuming that the air quality is good, that the fan will stop and it will create a more quiet setting. Having 3 pets in the house, though, I can't see it ever not detecting anything for 30 minutes. Even if I have my door closed, I mean, dust travels, pet hair and dander, they travel. You know, I have to leave my office at one point. When I open the door, I'm sure it's going to get flooded with all kinds of nastiness. So I can't see that being a mode that's going to be used a whole lot, but it is nice that it's there. And it's nice to know also from other reviews I've read that the eco mode it does work. Like it still filters your air and does its job when it's on. Because other units, you know, it either makes it not worthwhile or it's just not effective enough to even warrant having to use it. So I think that was pretty much all I wanted to cover here in the manual. Let me just take another quick glance here just to make sure. So here goes into the air quality sensor, which is kind of a neat thing. There's a few different modes and options here that you can turn on and activate and mess with, which I might do. Cleaning methods, I mean, you don't really need to know this unless you have this particular unit. And if you do, you probably already have this manual or you can download it online. The cleaning method we don't need to cover. Now here's one thing that I did dog ear here because I wanted to make sure that I covered this in the video. It's probably going to be the last thing before I go ahead and plug it in and turn it on. So as far as replacing the filter goes, now I did mention earlier that you want to replace it every 6 months to a year. However, there are several different kinds of filters in here. So depending on which filter it is that you're replacing, there's a different time period. There's a different cycle for that. So as you can see here, the pre-filter, whoops, get in on that here. So the pre-filter, they recommend to clean every 2 to 4 weeks. It's cleanable, so there's no need to replace the filter itself. The deodorization filter, I'm probably not going to replace this thing. I'll try and run the unit without it because that's not a really big concern of mine is dealing with odors or smoke or gases and whatnot. But you never know if I find it's making a big difference because, you know, this office is by no means odor free. When you spend this much time in any room, it's going to start to smell after a while. That's just the way it is. But if I find it's doing a good job getting rid of odors in general, I might replace that. They suggest every 6 months. That seems a little soon to me, a little gimmicky, but you never know. There might be a reason for that. And then the true HEPA filter, which is what I suspected, it's every year they suggest to filter that or to replace that. If you find that your unit's not needing to clean as much, maybe you can get away with, you know, 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. I don't know. Some units I've had in the past, I was able to go like 2-3 years without replacing the filter, but that's only because it wasn't a very dirty environment. It wasn't very dusty. And I know for a fact that in this place, it's very dusty. Plus the animal dander and hair that we have floating around with that. So I'm suspecting I'll probably have to change that after a year and just bite the bullet. But at $50 to $100 for a replacement filter, not the end of the world, and well worth spending that to give yourself that peace of mind with regards to your health and your family's health. So you have to reset the indicator when you replace your filter. There's a forcible reset mode, you know, all good information to know. But I think that was pretty much it. Some troubleshooting steps here as well. Maybe I'll just go over this real quick before I end the video, or I guess move on to the actual demo. But here's the specs on the unit. There's the model number, the voltage. I'm not sure what that is. Single phase is. I don't know what that is. Power consumption, product insulation grade. Don't know what that is either. Probably more information than what you need, but hey, it's good to have. Dust collection method. So it mechanically collects dust through the HEPA filter. Pretty standard stuff here. Safety features fan motor is shut down when the front cover is open. Good to know. In case the kids get in there or something like that. Installation place. Yeah, okay. Obviously it's an indoor. Why would you want to filter the outside? I don't even. Maximum volume of air, so roughly 270 cubic feet per minute that it can process, which is pretty darn good. And then the size of the, oh, there's the size right there. So 16 inches wide, almost a little less than 10 inches deep, and then just over 18 inches high. So I was pretty close. the weight is only 12 pounds, and I guess that was demonstrated well how easy I could pick it up with one hand. So it's a really lightweight unit, but from what I've read, and I hope the reviews that I checked out were accurate, this is probably the best bang for your buck as far as a starter starter air purification unit goes. So there you have it, folks. I'm probably not going to say much when I actually show you the demo. I'm just going to let it run. I'll try some different speeds. You can check it out, see how it runs, listen to the sound, and I'll give you an update. Maybe I'll make an update video on this after I've had a chance to run it for a couple days, and we'll see what I think at that point. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, it's the Coway Air Purifier AP-1512HH model number. We bring wellness, they say, and I really hope that they'll deliver on that promise because I need some of that. So hope you enjoyed it, guys. Stay with me here for the demo. That'll be coming up in just a second. But I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, please feel free to put that in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Okay, one more thing to note here before I move on to the demo. There is some plastic packaging inside for the filter itself, so I was wrong. You definitely need to open this up and take off the filter, or the plastic on the filter rather. There's this one right here in the pre-filter, and I don't think there's any plastic on that. That one's good to go. But underneath for the odor filter, there is a plastic on that obviously you want to make sure you open it up and take that off and then reassemble it. So there is some assembly involved. Looks like the Hepa filter has a plastic on it as well, so make sure you read your instructions carefully and do it as recommended. So an interesting thing here to note about the air purifier, I've got the patio doors here, and my friend just went out and had a cigarette and came back in. When he stepped through here, within a few seconds, the system turned on. So the detection, the sensitivity is definitely there. That part, at least I can confirm. It stayed on for maybe 2 or 3 minutes on red, and then it went to purple and finally back to blue. So I'm happy to see that it's actually working as they claim. So thought I'd throw that in there since I haven't finished making the video, and pass along the information. I'll keep updating with videos as I make more discoveries with this unit. So there you have it, folks. That is my unboxing and review of the Coway Mighty Air Purifier model AP-1512HH. Really liking this machine so far. Let me know in the comments section what you think of this thing if you have one. Love to hear your feedback. If you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. And yeah, hope you'll join me again next time for another unboxing or review video. Take care, everybody.